You don't look bad at school. So why do people still treat you like you blend into the wall? It is not your face, your clothes, or your money. It is the way you walk into a room like you are asking not to be noticed. The way you sit like you are borrowing space instead of owning it. The way you move like you are still waiting for permission to be there. And people read that instantly. Not later, not carefully, instantly. Same school. Same age. Same hallway. One person gets ignored without trying. Another gets remembered without saying much at all. That difference is not luck. It is signal. And in the next 10 minutes, I am going to show you the exact micro-habits creating the wrong signal at school and how to flip them fast. 1. You don't light edge lock. First thing, stop letting school lighting do that little crime scene effect on your face. Some classrooms have lighting so bad it feels personal. Like the bulb woke up and chose violence. If you sit directly under that flat overhead light, everything gets crushed. No shape, no depth, no definition. Just one giant washed-out version of you staring back like a failed camera test. So move. Window side, door side, corridor side, board reflection side, anywhere that gives you light from one angle instead of all directions attacking at once. And no, you do not need to become a full-on model in the middle of class. Relax. Just shift a little. 10 degrees. Maybe 20. That tiny angle does more than half the glow-up hacks people waste their time on. Because the face does not suddenly become different. The lighting just stops being disrespectful. Same face, better angle, instantly stronger. That is it. Nothing magical. Just fewer bad decisions in bad light. 2. Note structure immunity. Your notes do not need a personality. They need discipline. Same format every day. Date. Topic. 3 key points. Done. Do not turn your notebook into a decorative side quest. It is not a scrapbook. It is not an art project. It is supposed to help you find information later without making you fight for your life during revision. Boring notes are underrated. Ugly sometimes maybe. But useful? Absolutely. A clean, repeatable structure saves time, reduces confusion, and keeps the whole thing from turning into chaos by page 4. That is not glamorous, but it works. And honestly, a notebook that works is way more impressive than a notebook that just looks like it has opinions. Comment down what you are binge-watching right now, because I know somebody reading this is acting too busy while being 3 episodes deep into a show they swore they were not invested in. 3. Hair unification. Pick one hair direction and stop fighting your own head like your hair is the enemy in a low-budget drama. The biggest reason hair looks messy is not because it is bad hair. It is because people keep touching it, fixing it, flipping it, brushing it, and redoing it until it looks like it just lost an argument with a wind tunnel. That is not styling. That is confusion with good intentions. Find the direction your hair naturally likes and commit to it. Fix it in the morning, then leave it alone. Do not keep checking it every 5 minutes like the strands are going to file a complaint and leave. They will not. And here is the part nobody likes hearing. Most of the messy look is self-inflicted. People keep disturbing their own hair and then blame genetics like the hair woke up violent on its own. No, you did that. So choose the direction, stop poking it, and let it settle. Less touching. Less chaos. More clean. 4. Uniform contrast point. Uniforms are annoying because everybody starts looking like a clone army, and somehow half of them still manage to look slightly disorganized. So do not try to reinvent the uniform. That is where people get weird. Just keep one small detail consistent. A sleeve fold. A tuck style. A collar shape. One thing that stays the same every day. Not 5 details. Not different today because I feel expressive. No. One stable detail. That is enough. It gives you a quiet identity without turning the uniform into a fashion experiment. And that is the whole point. You are not trying to become the loudest object in the room. You are trying to become recognizable. The reason this works is simple. Repetition sticks. Randomness does not. People remember what keeps showing up, not what appeared once and vanished. So let the detail repeat. Let it become familiar. And no, it does not have to scream. The best things usually do not. They just stay there until people notice. 5. Movement interruption rule. Most people move like they are late for a bus they never booked. Sit, turn, reach, stand, all in one rushed blur, then wonder why the whole thing feels scattered. Slow down. Put a tiny pause before the movement. Half a second is enough. Not a dramatic pause. Not a look at me pause. Just enough to stop the automatic rush. Then move smoothly. That is the key. Not stiff. Not robotic. Just clean. Because rushed movement looks nervous, messy, and a little too eager. Controlled movement looks deliberate. It looks like you are actually in the room instead of being dragged through it by your own limbs. That tiny beat before action changes the energy more than people think. And yes, this is one of those annoying details that makes a big difference. 6. Memory reconstruction loop. Right after class, before your brain runs off to think about food, messages, or whatever nonsense it has queued up next, close the notebook and rebuild the lesson from memory. Fast. 60 seconds. Maybe a little more. Write out what you remember first, then check what you missed. That tiny effort is where the retention jumps. A lot of people skip this because it feels slightly irritating, which is exactly why it matters. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But this forces your brain to pull information out instead of just staring at it like it should magically stick. That is the difference between passive looking and actual learning. And yes, those are very different things. Do it immediately after class, not later at home when the memory has already started dissolving into, we did something, I think. 7. Visual still point habit. Now we get into the part where people start losing the plot without realizing it. During shared attention moments, like when the teacher is speaking, there is an announcement, or the class goes quiet, stop all the tiny movements. No sleeve fixing every 3 seconds. No random head shifting. No fidgeting like you are trying to shake anxiety out of your bones. Just hold still. Put your hands somewhere stable. Desk, lap, pen, whatever. The point is not to become a statue. That would be creepy. The point is to stop leaking nervous energy through every limb. Because when the whole room is moving and twitching and adjusting, the person who stays still reads differently. 8. Face edge exposure rule. Now this one is so simple that people ignore it, and then somehow act shocked when their face looks blurry in every angle. Keep one edge visible. Jawline, cheek, neck outline, something. Do not let your hair and collar team up like they are trying to hide evidence from the school system. That overcovered look is not mysterious. It is just visually lazy. And no, covering half your face with random layers does not make you look cooler. It makes your features harder to read. If your hair is long, tuck one side behind the ear. One side, not both. Both sides can start looking weirdly stiff, like you are trying too hard to be neat and forgot that humans are supposed to look alive. One side tucked gives structure without killing the natural feel. It keeps the face open enough to read clearly while still looking casual. 9. Response spacing control. Stop answering people like the reply is already loaded and waiting at the front of your mouth. Let there be a small gap. A natural one. Not a dramatic silence where the whole room starts wondering if your brain froze, just a beat. Then answer clearly and keep it short. No extra padding. No accidental essay. No turning one simple question into a documentary. People mess this up all the time because they think fast replies make them look better. They do not. They make you look reactive. A tiny spacing before your answer makes you sound more present, more grounded, and less like you are chasing approval from every conversation that lands in front of you. That beat matters. A lot. And when you do respond, say the thing cleanly and stop. Do not keep stacking explanations on top of explanations until the point collapses under its own weight. 10. Signature consistency mark. Now we hit the part that makes the whole thing feel like a system instead of a pile of random tips. Pick one small detail and keep it the same. Same pen. Same bag position. Same hair part. Same sleeve fold. One repeatable mark that keeps showing up until it becomes familiar. Not loud. Not flashy. Just steady. And here is where people mess up. They keep changing their thing every day like consistency is optional. It is not. Random details disappear. Repeated details stick. That is how memory works. That is how recognition works. That is how a small visual habit starts feeling like a signature.